So we were doing the examples of 6c. Let's continue. We have discussed till 14. Now let's go to E. Based on cost price and selling price, a farmer sold a calf and a cow for 7600 rupees, thereby making a profit of 25% on the calf and 10% on the cow. By selling them for 7675, he would have realized a profit of 10% on calf and 25% on cow. Find the cost price of each. Now let the cost price of calf be X and cost price of cow be Y. In the first case, selling price of calf would be what? X plus 25% of X plus profit now. Similarly, selling price of cow will be what? Y plus 10% of Y. So one equation, and together he has sold for 7600. So adding both the selling prices, you got the first equation. Then in the second case, selling price of the calf is X plus 10% of X, and cow is Y plus 25% of Y, and this time he has sold for 7675. So from here you will get the second equation. Now solving these two equations, you will get your answer. Basically we have to learn how to make the equations, and that will come through practice. So practice as many questions as you can, because methods to, you know how to solve the simultaneous equations. Any one method you can practice well, but making these equations is quite challenging, and that you have to learn. Now based on time and work, if A and B together do a piece of work in 15 days, if 1 day's work of A is itna times 1 day's work of B, find how many days will each take to finish the work alone, not together. Now this concept you have learned in class 7th also, how to find out the 1 day work. Now 1 day work, suppose A do the work in X days and A do the work in X days and B does the work in Y days. So A's 1 day work will be 1 upon X and B's 1 day work will be 1 upon Y, and together they take 15 days. So 1 upon X plus 1 upon Y is equal to 1 upon 15. Now also he said that 1 day's work of A, yani ki 1 upon X is 1 by 2 times of 1 day work of B. So 1 by 2 matlab 3 by 2. This will give you 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 of B's 1 day work. So from here you will get the second equation, and after getting both the equations, just solve them to get your final answer. Now after this comes the miscellaneous problem. Now no particular type, any type of questions can come, but you have to make equations. Now see this one. A and B each have certain number of oranges. A says to B, they both have some number of oranges. Now we don't know how much, who is having how many. So suppose A is having X and B is having Y oranges. A says to B, if you give me 10 of your oranges, I will have twice the number of oranges left with you. Now A says, if you will give me 10. Now if B is giving 10 oranges to A, what will happen? A will have 10 extra and B will have 10 less. Is it clear to you? A will have 10 extra and B will have 10 less. And he says, I will have twice the number of oranges left with you. So A to will have X plus 10, and that will be twice of what is left with B. And what is left with B? Y minus 10. So from here you will get your first equation. Then B replies, if you give me 10 of your oranges, if you give me 10, so what will happen? B will have extra 10 and A will have minus 10. I will have the same number of oranges as left with you, but in that case we will both have same number of oranges. So one equation, yani ki Y plus 10 extra of B and 10 less of A, both will have the same. Here you will make second equation, and on solving these two equations you will get the answer. Now see this 19th one. The total railway fare 5 members 3 tier and 3 members in 2 tier is itna, whereas the total railway fare for 8 members in 3 tier and 5 members in 2 tier is itna. Find the fare to be paid by a couple traveling through 2 tier. Let fare for one person be X in 3 tier and one person be Y in 2 tier. Now first case, 5 members in 3 tier plus 3 members in 2 टायर, यानी कि 5x plus 3y, the total amount is 2050. Total railway fare for 8 members in 3 tire and 5 members in 2 tires. So 8x plus 5y is equal to 3350. And you will solve these two equations. So here are different types of questions, different types of problems. You have to learn how to make the equations, and once you learn that, you will be easily able to solve these equations. So please carry on. Thank you.